Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my top 10 favorite hamster products. These are things that I absolutely love and are definitely hamster approved. I'm not going to be presenting them in any particular order, so let's just start with number one. Number one is this Eco Earth. As you can see, it is just a large bag of dirt, basically. It is coconut fiber that reptile owners will usually use for their reptiles. However, it can be a great hamster substrate. With hamster enclosures, adding additional substrates and textures into their enclosure can be very enriching. I find Eco Earth is a great one for Lily and Franklin because they love to dig around in it and play in it. One thing I would recommend with Eco Earth is actually putting it in the freezer for maybe a couple weeks before you use it. I am just worried about bugs or mites or anything that could be in there, so that is an extra precaution I personally like to take. Overall, this product is really great and I find it to be very enriching for my hammies. While we're on the topic of additional substrates, let's talk about sand. This is my favorite sand to use in my hamster enclosures, and it is natural reptile terrarium sand. As you can see, this comes in a giant bag of about 20 pounds, which will last you quite a while if you do have smaller sand baths. However, my sand baths are pretty large, so this might not last me very long, but it is very good quality sand and I still really like it. I find other sands like children's play sand to be more dusty and lower quality. This can be a little pricey. I believe this bag was $25, which might seem expensive, but it is definitely worth the price because there's minimal dust and it is extremely soft for your hamsters. Even though the sand is kind of red colored, it is still completely natural. Just make sure you get natural sand. It can be the natural red, or I believe there's also a white color, which I usually use, but I was unable to get that at my local reptile shop this time around, so I opted for the red color. You can find this on Amazon as well as other websites and usually your local reptile store. My local reptile store carries reptile sand occasionally, so when I find it, I snag it up. I will insert some videos of my hamster's current sand baths, which actually do have children's play sand in them right now because that is what I could get at the time. However, I will be switching them out with this sand fairly soon. This is just another great product and my hamsters clearly enjoy it. Next up is sprays. I know I'm technically cheating here because this is multiple products, but let's just put it together into one thing, if that makes sense. Sprays are a great enrichment for your hamsters. Here I have weed sprays, which I am low on and need to stock up on. Oat sprays, which I just found for the very first time about a week ago. I'm so pleased about that. And millet sprays. Most of the time you will find these in the bird section of Petco or PetSmart, and you can order them off of Chewy. Personally, I prefer the millet snips over the millet sprays. They are still millet sprays, they're just kind of smaller and not like full-length sprays. Lily is a very tiny hamster, so it's easier for her to eat one of these little sprays than a giant millet stick. I get the wheat sprays from Chewy, which I definitely need to order more of because the hamsters love them. They come in this big package filled with wheat sprays and it does last me quite a while. Finally, I got the oat sprays from PetSmart. I've never in the almost 2 years I've had hamsters been able to find these, but a week ago I found them in the bird aisle of PetSmart, so they seem to be stocked up in my location again. I have no idea what it's like where you guys live, but personally for me, they were extremely hard to get until PetSmart had them back. And those are the sprays. Lily and Franklin have a really fun time with them and I love incorporating them into their setups. Next up is these herbs. They are amazing for foraging and they come in a variety. So as you can see right now, I have some hibiscus as well as some rose hips, I do believe dandelion in there. And I got a package of herbs from my hamster mail subscription box a few months ago. So all of that is in there, just in this little bowl. I sprinkle them around in their cage once a week so they can forage. As I said, these herbs are partially from my hamster mail subscription box, and I also have some hibiscus in there. This is a piece of hibiscus, if you're wondering what it looks like. Some rose hips, I believe that is a rose hip. Some dandelion, and something else that came in these full cheeks packages. I'll put them up on screen, but that is what the packaging looks like. And those are the herbs I currently have. Full Cheeks, as you may know, is a new line at PetSmart. So before they had the Full Cheeks herbs, I actually got my herbs from Exotic Nutrition, which is also another great resource for getting herbs. Herbs and flowers are great for foraging and really enhance the look of the setup in my opinion, especially if you have a natural setup The look of the herbs and flowers scattered all around, it just looks amazing. I just love incorporating them into setups for foraging because it makes their enclosure that much more natural. Next up is these treats. These are the Tiny Friends Farms Hazel Hamster Lovelies. Sorry, I had to read off my iPad there because I completely forgot what they were called. But they are available on chewy.com, it looks like. I get them from a local pet store, which is great because they usually have them in stock. These are my hamster's absolute favorite treats. They're very adorable heart-shaped treats, and I like how small they are because my hamster Lily can actually eat them. She struggles eating bigger treats sometimes just because she is so itty bitty, but these ones she absolutely loves and has been loving even more recently. She takes them out of my hand and thinks they're super yummy. I feed my hamsters these treats a few times a week because you obviously don't want to overfeed treats, but these aren't quite as bad as yogurt drops or treats like that are extremely high in sugar, so you can feed them more often than, say, a yogurt drop. That's about all I have to say for these. They're just really cute and I really like them. Speaking of treats, even more than that, my hamster's absolute favorite chew/treat in the entire universe is Whimsies. Let me tell you, if you have never gotten a Whimsy for your hamster, you need to get one right now because they are incredible. They are technically dog treats and you can find them in the dog aisles of Petco or PetSmart. Sometimes they will actually have like bins of them in checkout, if you know what I mean, bins of just singular ones. But I like to get the big pack of them. It's kind of a pack of the smaller treats. I'll put a picture up on screen, but I like those ones. I also like the pack of alligator ones and the large singular alligator ones they sell. Here's an example of the large alligator. Just for scale, here's my hand and here's the alligator. It is very big, as you can see, pretty much almost as big as my hand. Probably about as big as Franklin. So Franklin loves these. I have no idea why. He likes the smaller alligators, but he just demolishes these large alligators because they're as big as him, I guess, and he sure likes a challenge. These will get destroyed in 3 or 4 nights, which is crazy because Franklin will just chew them up. I don't know how he does it, I don't know why he does it, but he absolutely loves these. These are his pride and joy. He does like the other ones too, but the alligators are definitely a hit. Lily, on the other hand, prefers the smaller ones. I don't even know how she would devour an alligator that big. These are the perfect size for her to finish in about a week or 2. Definitely my hamster's favorite chews in the entire world. They're incredible and they love them. Now we're going to talk about a few items that I cannot physically hold in my hands right now because my hamsters are sleeping and it would be very rude to disturb their slumber. First of all, let's talk about the Night Angel multi-chamber hideouts. Me and my hamsters love them. They're incredible and they come in many different shapes and sizes. Depending on the size of your enclosure or just how big of a hideout you want, you can choose between a 2-chamber, a 3-chamber, there might be a 4-chamber and a 6-chamber. I don't know, I'll look that up for verification. The ones I have for my hamsters are the 3-chamber ones. Lily has the 3-chamber small and Franklin has a 3-chamber large. The 3-chamber large is perfect for a Syrian or a dwarf hamster, and the 3-chamber small is probably most suitable for a robo hamster, which I have, and it is the perfect size for Lily. These multi-chamber hideouts are a very natural element to add into your enclosure because they do mimic the wild tendencies of hamsters. Hamsters in the wild would have many different chambers and deep burrows underground for different purposes. I love that these multi-chamber hideouts can give them different chambers and different spaces to do different things in, and they can make multiple different burrows just like they would in the wild. These are best used with a nice deep substrate. Franklin has about 13 inches of bedding, which you don't necessarily need 13 inches. I would recommend 10 inches for a Syrian hamster, but if you give them plenty of bedding and then use these multi-chamber hideouts, they can make really nice deep burrows. Lily has about 10 inches of bedding. Again, you do not need 10 inches of bedding for robo, but burrowing is really great for them and provides a lot of natural enrichment. The multi-chamber hideouts are just great and definitely a staple in my enclosures. Another thing I cannot physically hold right now because it is in Franklin's enclosure is a cork log. I love cork logs of all shapes and sizes. Again, it's very customizable based on your enclosure. You can get a smaller one, a bigger one based on the size of your hamster. There's so many different ones and no 2 cork logs are going to be identical. If you order these logs online, you can't necessarily tell the size and shape you're going to get, so I prefer to buy them in person. Again, I get these at my local reptile store, which is where quite a surprising amount of my hamster stuff comes from. They have a lot of great cork logs, grapevine wood, which is another great wood, and driftwood in general. So if you do have a local reptile store that sells that kind of things, I would go to them and try to find some good cork logs. Another place you can get them is Petco. My local Petcos both do not have good cork logs at all, and they rarely have them in stock anyways, but that could be a possible option for you. I've never seen them at any of my PetSmarts either, but maybe near you have a PetSmart that carries them, or a reptile store or a Petco, and if not, then you can look online on websites such as Pangea.com or other reptile websites. You will commonly find them on reptile websites because generally these are used for reptiles. I do have a couple of cork logs for my reptiles as well because they are very versatile and you can use them for a lot of different things. Hamsters love them and they are very great for wearing down their nails. I have never had to trim a hamster's nails because I keep a lot of wooden items in their enclosure and they just kind of sand them down themselves. They also make for great tunnels. I have used them kind of as a tunnel before, like buried in the substrate, or a tunnel to another section of the enclosure. I've used it as a tunnel into a sand bath before. There's so many different uses for cork logs. I love the shape of them. I love all the different sizes. Honestly, you can't go wrong with a good cork log. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about these in any particular order, which was true up until now. I definitely saved the best for last, and that is the Night Angel Silent Hamster Wheels. This is the most silent hamster wheel I've ever used, like ever. I've used so many other hamster wheels and there's just little things I didn't like about them. I can be very picky about what goes in my hamster's enclosures, and this is definitely a great item that I do not hesitate to give my hamsters. Other wheels will be loud and disruptive to my sleep, even though I am a fairly deep sleeper and I can deal with it. It's just not fun to have a hamster running on the wheel all night and have it be extremely loud. So these wheels save me so much hassle and I love them. As you can see, it is completely silent. That's the silence test there. I don't know if you can hear anything. I certainly cannot. It is so silent. Love it, just absolutely love it. Of course, your hamster is going to make a little more noise when they're actually like running on the wheel, just the tip taps of their feet. But other than that, it doesn't squeak weird and your hamster really doesn't have to put much pressure at all to get it going. It doesn't get stuck awkwardly like some wheels do. Some wheels are harder for your hamster to spin and I find that to be difficult for them, but this one, I barely tap it and it's just going. So it's very easy for a little robo hamster to get started or even a larger Syrian hamster. I also just love the design of these wheels. They come in so many different colors. I have a clear one for Franklin and this blue one for Lily. If I get more in the future, there is a couple more colors I would like to get because they're just so great. So many different colors depending on the theme of your cage. You can kind of match it to their cage. This perfectly matches Lily's cage and the clear wheel completely matches Franklin's natural theme. I know I've said so much about these wheels. I promise this isn't a sponsored video. This is just a product I genuinely love and would recommend to anyone and everyone who has a hamster. My favorite wheel of all time, available on Amazon. I'll leave all the links to all these products in the description. This will be linked in the description. I cannot think of a better hamster product that I like more than this. This just takes the cake. Anyway, I think I've talked about the Night Angel wheels enough. As you can tell, that is my favorite product. And that is it for the video. Those are my top 10. I'm a liar. That is 9 products, not 10. I completely forgot about the last product somehow. I had it written down and everything. I don't know what happened, just forgot. And I don't want to refilm that last part of the video, so I apologize. That is my top 9 favorite hamster products. Me and my hamsters could not live without them. I will link them all in the description as best as I can. Stuff from local reptile stores will be harder to link in the description, but as I mentioned in the video, there are a couple sources you could get them from. I hope you all have a lovely day and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!